I fell quietly for you, like rain that touches glass, soft, unnoticed, gentle, but never meant to last. Your smile is still a shadow that lingers in my mind, a warmth I can't possess, a love I'll never find. Quietly falling, loving you unseen, living in a memory of where we might have been. Every step you take pulls me deeper into blue, still holding on to nothing, still loving you. Even in another life, I'd probably fall the same for someone I can't have, for someone I can't claim. I stay behind the moment where your shadow touches mine, close enough to feel you breathe, too far to call you mine. You talk about someone else, and I just smile along, pretending it doesn't hurt to know I'm not where I belong. 'Cause every step toward you is a line I never crossed, loving you in silence, counting all the quiet losses. You're the wish I keep unspoken, the ache I never stop, a love that lives in places where the truth can never drop. I memorize the pieces of you I'm not allowed to hold, a story built on moments that will never quite unfold. You shine like something holy, and I fall without a sound, a heart that breaks so softly it barely hits the ground. Maybe someday I'll forget you, but tonight I still remain, loving someone I shouldn't, quietly carrying the pain. I stayed in empty corners of the world you walked through, hoping somehow a shadow of your love would come true. Your laughter found another and left me in the cold, holding tiny fragments of a story never told. Empty corners of your smile haunt the nights I spend alone. I loved you quietly, softly, even when my heart had grown. You were everything I wanted, but nothing I could own. And every time I close my eyes, I see the light you gave away, leaving me to carry a love that couldn't stay. I wait for a shadow of you that never comes my way. Your presence lingers softly, but never chose to stay. I build a little world around your fleeting light and watched it crumble slowly in the middle of the night, waiting for a shadow that never turns to form. Loving in the silence while the world keeps moving on. Every heartbeat whispers a name I cannot call, a love I'll keep quietly. Even when it falls, I trace the steps you never left, the warmth you never gave, learning that some hearts are too soft to save. I loved you from the corner where no one could see, but the closer I got, the further you seemed to be. I whispered your name at night when dreams were all I had, and awoke to realize my hope was just a fad, torn between wanting you and knowing I can't. My heart keeps holding on to a love that won't grant. You shine for someone else, and I'm left in the harm. I replay the little moments that never turn to more, learning how it feels to love and quietly endure. Every time you look away, my heart quietly bends. I trace your laughter in the air, hoping the wind might send a little sign you notice me, but you never seem to see. I loved you in the spaces where your gaze never stayed. You moved through someone else's world while I quietly decayed. Even the light around you couldn't reach my shade. I hold the echoes of your voice like a secret I can't tell. And every time you pass me by, it's a private kind of hell. I whispered all my secrets into the air you walked through. Hoping somehow you'd hear the love I never showed you. Silent confessions fill my nights. You never knew how much I tried. I loved you softly from a distance, while my heart quietly cried. Every glance you gave, another cut deeper than I could hide. I keep replaying Your voice still haunts the hallways where we never spoke aloud. I built a world around you that you never stepped into. Echoes of you fill the night, a quiet song I can't rewrite. I loved you in the spaces where you never chose to be. Every heartbeat calls your name in the shadows only I can see. I keep the pieces of your smile, the things I wished you'd know. But life moves on around me, and I stay falling slow. You shine like sunlight I couldn't touch. Every warmth just out of reach. I stayed in shadows, hoping one day you might notice me. Lost in the light you gave. Loving quietly afraid. You moved on so effortlessly while I lingered in yesterday. Every step you took away left my heart too full to stay. And now I hold the memory like a fragile broken flame. I loved you silently, but you never felt the same. Almost held you once, but fear kept me away. I almost told you everything, but the words just couldn't stay. Almost yours, almost mine. We danced in circles of time. I loved you softly in the quiet while you lived unaware. Every glance I stole was a dream that never shared. And even now I replay the moments I couldn't keep. Your smile is still my morning my evenings are too deep. I watch your shadow pass me by, like it belongs to someone else. Every smile you give to them feels like a loss I cannot tell. I'm fading like the shadows, loving you in silence too. You're everything I'm reaching for, but I can't hold, can't feel. And every heartbeat whispers a love I can't fulfill. Your laughter in my chest, a memory I can't release. You were warmth I couldn't touch, a quiet ache that never ceased. I walk the same old streets we used to wander through, listening to echoes of a world that felt like you. Every window's glowing warm, but mine stays cold, 'cause I've been holding on to something I should have let go. Your voice still lingers in the corners of my mind, a quiet little ghost that I can never leave behind. And I'm almost home to you, in every dream I fall into, but morning pulls me back again to the truth I never wanted. You were never mine to lose. I was only passing through a heart that didn't beat for me, no matter how I wanted it to be. I tell myself I'll get over you someday, but your name keeps drifting in the things I never say. Every night I build a world where you still stay, then watch it fade when the sunrise washes it away. Maybe in another life we'd meet without the weight of time, and I could stand beside you without falling out of line. But for now I'll keep wandering, hoping healing finds its way, 'cause I'm almost home to you, but never meant to stay. Yet I'm almost home to you. Carried all my love for you like a secret in my coat, hoping someday you would read the words I never wrote. Every time you laughed beside me, I felt something come undone, a story in my heartbeat that you never could outrun. And I carried you so quietly, you never heard a sound. You were busy chasing futures, I was falling to the ground. Still I held you in the moments where you barely stuck around. You became my favorite sadness, a warmth I couldn't keep, a dream I'd wake up holding and lose again in sleep. Some loves never reach the sky, mine live quietly beneath. I remember how you lingered like a promise in the breeze, but every time I reached for you, my hands came back empty. You touched my life so lightly, like a fleeting thought of grace, then left without a warning, without leaving me a place. And it's the way you didn't stay that haunts me every day, the echo of a moment that slowly slipped away. You were soft like summer rain, I was cold beneath the gray. I keep walking through the memories. You never walked with me, learning how to dim the light of what will never be. Still I whisper to the dusk, wishing you'd stayed easily.
I tried to stay unbroken when you smiled at someone new, pretending it was nothing when it felt like losing you. You were always just a distance. I was terrified to cross a love I couldn't touch without feeling what I lost. And I tried to stay unbroken,
the truth slip through the seams. You were everything I whispered in the corners of my dreams. Still I kept on hoping you would somehow hear my heart. Even though we never started, I still fell apart. You were soft in all your moments. I was shaking in my own, learning how it feels to love a world that won't be home. And maybe breaking quietly is better left unknown. I keep walking past the places where we almost could have been, chasing echoes of your laughter like it's whispering again. You were gentle with your distance, and I tried to understand, but loving you in shadows was never in my plans. Under moonlit reasons, I still call you in my mind. You're the ache I carry softly, a love I leave behind. I was fading in your light. And even if you never saw how hard I held on tight, your memory still lingers when I'm trying to sleep at night. Some hearts break quietly, mine just learned to do it right. I fell for you in quiet ways, in glances you don't keep. You were sunlight on my shoulder, I was shadows at your feet. I tried to hold the moment still, but time kept slipping through. Like everything I wanted was always just past you. And I loved you in the silence, where you never seemed to stay. You were living in the daylight, I was lost in shades of gray. Still I waited for a heartbeat that never came my way. used to grow. But loving you in secret was the only truth I knew. So I keep the quiet moments, the ones you never knew. I saw you smile at someone else and felt my heart beat slow. Like all the little chances finally learned to let me go. You're another chance I miss, another name I can't resist. The feeling that I carry in the quiet, in the twist. I keep you in the spaces between what was and isn't. Just a moment, I was scared to try and kiss, so I let you pass me by. The love I couldn't risk. Crossed my life like morning light that never stayed too long. A fleeting warmth that left before I knew something was wrong. Softly unseen, in the quiet in between. You were waking into daylight, I stayed drifting in a dream. You were everything I wanted, just not meant for me. Your footsteps echo lightly half-forgotten scenes. Still I keep you in the silence, where my heart can stay unseen. I replay the way you laughed, like it meant something to me. But I know you never noticed how deep I used to breathe, where what we never were, or maybe a story with no ending, a truth without the words. You touched my life so lightly, it still somehow hurt. I built a world around you that you never stepped into, but I still keep the pieces if they somehow lead to you.
I wrote 100 lines about you in the back of my old room. Words I never had the courage to let escape too soon. You never hear this song, you never know you're wrong for making me believe I had a place to belong. You moved on like a whisper while I stayed here too long. Your absence plays like rhythm in my chest where you once shone. But truth is, loving you was something I outgrew alone.
Keep your smile inside the pocket of the days I can't get through. Little pieces of a dream I never shared with you. I'm hidden in the blue, in the silence next to you, loving you so softly. You never had a clue. You were light I couldn't reach, the truth I always knew. And every time you walked away, I stayed falling into you. Guess some loves live deeper when they're never meant to bloom.
I loved you in the quiet, in the spaces between days, in glances you don't notice, in words I couldn't say. Even if you never knew, I gave my heart to you in the ways that no one saw, in the dreams you never knew. You walked into my world just passing through, while I stayed rooted to a chance that never grew. in someone else. And I tried to stay okay, but some hearts break softly in the things they never say. So here's my silent truth: I loved you anyway.
You didn't say you loved me, but your silence said enough. A quiet kind of heartbreak wrapped in something soft. It was a soft goodbye. No tears, no final line, just the fading of a moment I thought one day would be mine. You slipped into your future while I stayed lost in time. I held on to every maybe, every almost, every sign. Guess I read too much into things never meant to shine. And now I practice letting go of what was never really mine. I try to meet you in the places where your heart refused to stay. Try to hold the little moments that kept slipping far away. You're a door I can't walk into, a truth I shouldn't know. You let me stand beside you, but not where your heart would go. I keep wishing for a version where you'd finally choose me slow. You smiled like I was nothing but a gentle passing thought, and I loved you like a promise that reality forgot. So I'll leave you to your future in the life where I am not.
held my heart so lightly, I could barely feel your touch. But somehow every little thing still meant too damn much. I lived underneath your almost, half in love, half letting go. You were sunlight on my shoulder, I was shadows on the floor. You never meant to break me, but you did without a word. I stayed soft inside your orbit, hoping I could be your world. But you spun towards someone else, like it barely ever hurt. And I learned that almost love is still love that leaves you burned.
We were living in a moment that never truly stayed. A slow and fragile sweetness that quietly decayed. 'Cause I was loving you on borrowed time, holding pieces that weren't mine. You were moving toward tomorrow, I was stuck in your outline. And every step you took ahead left me falling far behind. Your laughter left its fingerprints on corners of my mind, but you saved all your warmth for a love I couldn't find. So I'll let our memory fade like a song we can't rewind.
I had 1,000 chances to tell you how I felt, but every time I tried to speak, my courage simply melted. So here I am with all the things I never said to you, the wishes in the quiet, the dreams that won't come true. You're living out your stories with somebody who's not me, and I'm stuck in all the words I never set free. to hidden truths that never saw the light. Maybe in another world you'd hear what stayed unsaid, but in this one I'll keep loving you inside my silent head. I'm standing in the hallway where your last goodbye still rings, holding on to pieces of the gentlest little things. I'm lost where you left me in a moment you forgot. You moved on so easily, I stayed tight in knots. Your shadow still follows me in places you don't walk. Your name still echoes softly in the silence when I talk. Rain against the glass, a love we never started, a chance we couldn't grasp. So I'll stay here a little longer in the memory you made small, hoping someday letting go won't feel like losing home. I wrote your name in paper hearts and taped them to my chest, thinking if I held you close, the ache would hurt me less. But paper hearts don't heal, they tear with every breath. And loving you in silence feels like loving emptiness. I try to keep you safely, but I lost myself instead. You're the story in my notebook that I never should have read. I watch you choose another life that doesn't include me, and every step you take away rewrites what we could be. So I'll fold these paper hearts and leave them where they fell, a fragile, broken reminder of a love I
chose dawn with someone new. I held on to the memories that you never meant to keep true. You choose the sun while I stay in the fading blue, standing in the twilight with a heart that won't undo. You move on like summer, I stay cold like winter's view, still loving you from shadows where you never pass through. Your voice still feels like morning in the corners of my chest, but you saved all your warmth for a love that isn't mine to test. Guess I'll learn to walk away from a light I can't pursue. Still I wish the sun you chose could have been me too. You walk into the room and suddenly my heart forgets its pace. I try to hide the trembling when you barely see my face. I'm standing in the corner like I'm part of empty space, loving you from far away, wishing I could take your place. 'Cause the way you look through me feels colder than the rain. I'm here but you don't see me, just a shadow in your frame. Still I keep on hoping for a sun you'll never send, loving you in circles that never find an end. To get me through the night, pretending I'm the reason that you smile that soft and bright. But you belong to someone else, and I know it isn't right to fall for all your moments in a world where I can't fight. So I stay here quietly in the love you'll never know, breaking just a little every time you let me go. You shine like something I could never keep, a warmth that fades
try to reach. And now you glow for someone else while I fall out of sight, loving you from far away, lost beneath your light. I'll keep your name inside the quiet corners of my mind, a place where all the almost love you gave is left behind. You were close enough to feel like fate, but too far for me to hold. I loved you softly, silently, a story you never told. I watch the sunrise paint your world with all the things I'll never be. You're waking up to someone else while I stay tangled in the memory. You were always moving forward, chasing dreams beyond my reach, and I stayed standing in your yesterday, holding truths I couldn't speak. I tried to hide the way my heart would stumble when you smiled, but loving you in silence only broke me all the while. 'Cause I'm left behind in your tomorrow, holding on to borrowed sorrow. Your story I keep reading, even though I know the end. A love that never started, a wound that doesn't mend. I keep waiting for a moment where you finally look back, but your footsteps fade to someone else's track. Still lingers in my room like it belongs to me, though I was never more than just a passing thought you'd briefly see. I picture us in versions where you choose me every time, but morning comes to show me I'm not written in your lines. If letting go, why does it feel like losing air? Why does every empty space still echo that you're not there? So I gather all the pieces of the love you'll never borrow, and leave my heart behind you in the quiet of tomorrow. You were almost mine in a world that never happened, maybe wrapped in sunlight I kept gently in my hands. You were every quiet morning I wanted to wake to. A softness in the distance I kept running back into. Almost mine, almost love, almost everything I dreamed of. But you chose another path while I stayed falling from above. You were close enough to feel like fate, but far enough to slip away. Every second like a film that never ends. The way you smiled, the way we almost could have been. But life is cruel in ways that don't make sense, and I'm left holding stories that never got a chance. Still I whisper to the stars, you were almost mine, breaks my heart.